I think we can all agree that everybody wants to be rich, regardless of what the reason may be. Financial freedom, passive income, early retirement, stability, validation, or ego. The list is endless. However, there's something deeper than just being rich, and no one is talking about it. It's the darkness that is lurking underneath us, depending on your age group you're in and your background with your current situation. The intensity of the darkness is either intensified or hidden secretly behind closed door, like that cancer cell that pops when you least expected it. It is called desire. Living in a world of trending topics bombarded with tons of marketing nonsense that are designed to help us ease our boredom and cure our needs of validation in the quest of salvage that with external materials so that we can one day be fitted into society and join the ranks of a modern man or woman. I find myself in a loop of chasing, wanting, competing, fear of losing out, fear of missing out, until I finally realize that it's an illusion and it's all in my mind. The best part about it, if it's in my mind, then I must have control over what I think. But why? I still can't. Studies have shown that dopamine is greatly rooted in the emotion department, the same department that is found in happiness, creation, and also depression. The mother of these emotions gives birth into the craving and experience that we understood as desire. And the engine that motivates that desire is wealth. It is tough to resist the temptation of desire when our world is surrounded by choices. But have you also realized that with the many choices that are out there, you could always find yourself in the situation of having to struggle on the financial growth to meet those demands of desire. The more you earn, the more you spend. This is the business model of capitalism, and we can't fight it. But I disagree. I have to flip the script. I have to try. Life can be just it. Here are 3 experiences that I went through to find wealth. 2 years ago, I got a gig as a creative director for a well-known brand in Saigon, or better known as Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. It was a dream job that I manifested. The salary package was more than decent. Part of the deal covered accommodation for expats and expenses allowance. I was exuberant. The low cost of living in Vietnam and the high earnings gave me a leverage to be financially free. For a while, I thought. And I was wrong. I was burnt out. Clocking hours way exceeded my working hours. Even though the contract was 9 to 6, but I ended up home with work, with most of my weekend plans annihilated. It was an industry I endured over 20 years and a pill hard to swallow after bitter confrontation with myself. Do I still want to be in a creative industry where constant overtime is an anomaly, especially at a time when my early 40s is starting? Yeah, maybe for the money I could earn, I could do so much more with it. Maybe after savings for a couple of years, I could figure out an investment plan with property with that kind of money. I had already endured 20 years. What's 5 more years going to do to me? It is true that I spent less, not because I didn't have the time to spend it, but it was because of that point of time, I had already been mindful about my expenditure from learnings I made in China. So I was relatively good with my savings. I was also given a high package as an expat in China, but I led a different mind and a lifestyle back then. But I realized there's a slow creed that is crawling out of me. There is something fishy about this concept of the more you earn, the less you spend. Why? Why do I need that much money for? Is it for my future self? Or is it for my future self with someone else? If that's the case, how much do I know about the future? Does having that much money means my future will be secure? I think as human beings, if we are able to live this far and have yet to be able to predict every minute or every second onto our future, I think I would rather live in the life, not chasing into my future. I know that I would still be breathing with little money. It is a struggle, but I am a lot more happier with it. So, fuck it. I don't need the money. I'd rather be in the present of living with less, not knowing the future, than be overthinking and over consuming about the future, which I have little control over. And I left my dream job, closing a chapter of the more you earn, the less you spend. The takeaway here is that although my situation might be different from yours, you could argue that you might be already in a situation with financial freedom, either through investment or business or having a passive income. Well, the truth is, the concept of financial freedom is not entirely free. You're either still thinking about what you need to do with the earnings, planning ahead, or maintaining your passive income. You are still chasing over being free. It's really an illusion made worse by social media and society's anomalies. You will never be free unless you see the true meaning of freedom. Growing up in Singapore has given me so much, but also has taken so much away from me. I was programmed to be monotonous, be the best in everything, to get the best in everything. This city, this country is all for the elite. I find myself to be in a constant battle, not for survival, but for an illusion. The best way to start a conversation with a Singaporean is on the topic of money. He or she could tell you the best way to generate wealth, and comfort is often constructed by means of wealth. And the worst way to start a conversation is also to talk about wealth. Everything seems to have a label that comes in a price tag. If you're not doing well, it means you're not working hard, not programmed to be an elite force. You need to enroll yourself to be trained, to be reconstructed. You gotta pay well to do well. How about if you're not feeling well? High expenses here means you have to afford the best medicines, to get the best cure, to pay for the best yoga pants so you could be healed by the best studio. You get where I'm coming from? Unfortunately, this is not what I see. I'm not sure if everyone could see this, but living in a city, in a cosmopolitan state, our feelings are like choices stacked up on the shelves in the market, where there are too many choices at the expense of affordability. Only when you can afford, you get the best. Ironically, to be the best, you need a membership for everything. To be in a community of earn more, spend more, so you could feel more. We ended up as a human race that is more of a rat race of competition. To have endless choices, bombardment of ads from food, entertainment, and necessity. Every brand is calling you on the moment you are awake. I don't want to be awake feeling like this. Fortunately, for me, this is what I saw in my 3 years of travels. They have one thing in common, which I saw. It's not about a beautiful landscape where you realize concrete make lesser sense in keeping people safe or protected. It is not about the best, cheapest food on the street where you realize you do not need so much just to have a simple meal and you can already make so much out of it. It is not about how beautiful people already are in their own unfiltered skin, unflattering outfits, where you realize that a simple "How is your day?" could bring so much brightness and clarity into a meaningful conversation. It is, however, about the culture that address the emphasis of being enough is already great enough. There is something about living in poverty that is simple yet enough to understand. We do not need that much to pass the day. The day will still be the same breath we took yesterday. We do not need to look around to pass tomorrow, because tomorrow will be different if we have already found the difference. We do not need more to tell us any difference if we are not in a competition of making a difference through the way we view ourselves. Then, why do we need so much when we can see that much? I think by now you should have already realized that this isn't a tutorial on get rich schemes. There are many videos out there for you to enroll and invest your time on it, but please be mindful of all that wealth and of all that time that you invested on it. How much of it does it really equate to the short time that you have as a human being? And how much value would it cost you in the endless pursuit of an illusion? The illusion that we need to be more to be happy? I'm 43 and I'm poor. My earnings to today is only $600 per month minus my monthly expenses. I do not own any branded lines of designer clothes. I only have the basics of simple jeans, tees, and shirts in my wardrobe. No fancy transportations. I no longer drive. Just some dollars and a pair of legs to travel. I eat a simple meal of a mixture of proteins, fats, carbs, and fiber 2 times a day, 365 days, the same choice. I live in a simple flat where I spend most of my days doing boring routines like yoga, meditation, capoeira, reading, and making videos such as these mindful channels. I live with little or no social activities like partying or cafe idling. I'm also single, unsuccessful because I do not own any property or investment. Neither do I have a six figures in my bank account to survive the impending crisis of the future. This is accordingly to the modern society of the rank of a stabilized, successful man, and all men would not want to become, and that most modern women will find it disturbing and label me as an outcast or poor, not taking a second look at me. Now, this is how I view my life. I do not need to be designed and validated to feel good. I need my comfort to be my design of my own skin. I prefer walking and going slow at my own speed, my own pace. I can see more and experience more by appreciating the time of slowing down. I eat better and think clearer, not having the options of too many, not bothered by anything new. It's nothing that can beat the freshness of homemade food. I live like an extreme minimalist, cutting down my item list and unnecessary spending on material stuff, doing more organic stuff than ever I wish for because boring is sustainable. That already is the future. I kept up with my friends that don't mind what I am, but see what I see. I don't need a place or an occasion to catch up. All I need is a voice to check in with me or to check in with one another. I choose to be unsuccessful in modern society because the only property that you can own is your intelligence and your feelings. And for that, I don't need wealth to be successful. My desire is no longer temptation because I can't be tempted. My desire is now to inspire. I hope you are listening not just to me, but to yourself. I do not need to be rich to get more because I understand being poor in modern society means in my world, I'm free to be whoever that I want to be and wherever I want to be. And that makes me rich in my soul, in my view, in my heart. And in my mind, my name is Lua Zhu. I'm 43 and I'm richer than any man in the world. And you can too. Once you change the way you see richness, your outside world starts collapsing while your inside world starts emerging. That is liberation. That is liberty. That is freedom.